At a party, a man glances through a window and catches his wife passionately kissing another man. Most people would storm outside or end the marriage on the spot, but he does neither. He quietly turns around and walks away. The shocking part is that this isn't the first time. For years, he has known that his wife has been having affairs with other men, especially younger ones. She doesn't even try to hide it anymore. Yet despite the constant betrayal and humiliation, he refuses to leave her. One of their friends finally asks, "If you know she's cheating on you, why do you stay?" Without showing the slightest anger, the man says, "My wife is free to do whatever she wants. I love her, and maybe one day she'll finally understand how much I love her." Later that night, Melinda becomes drunk and begins playing the piano while everyone cheers her on. Even after everything she has done, Vic watches her with a smile, genuinely happy to see her enjoying herself. Soon afterward, Joel, the man who was kissing Vic's wife earlier, approaches him at the bar. He thanks Vic for welcoming him to town before making an unexpected comment. He says that most husbands would be furious watching another man with their wife, but Vic doesn't seem jealous at all. The comment instantly changes Vic's expression. He quietly asks Joel if he's ever heard of a man named Martin McRae. Joel says no. Vic calmly tells him that Martin was once very close to his wife, until Vic killed him. Joel nervously laughs, assuming it's a joke. Vic simply replies, "That depends on whether you believe me." The conversation terrifies Joel. He immediately leaves the party without another word. Melinda notices Joel suddenly leaving and becomes suspicious. Later, while driving home, she asks Vic what he said to scare him away. Vic casually claims he said nothing. By the time they reach home, Melinda is extremely drunk. Vic pays the babysitter extra for staying late before helping his wife upstairs. She pushes him away, insisting she wants to sleep alone. Without arguing, Vic quietly heads to the basement, where he spends his time caring for his unusual collection of snails. The following morning, he prepares breakfast and medicine for Melinda, hoping to make her feel better after the party. Later, Vic drops his young daughter, Trixie, off at school. On his way home, he realizes his conversation with Joel has already spread throughout town, as several friends jokingly ask if he has really started killing people. Vic laughs it off, explaining that it was only a joke. Back at home, Melinda is furious after discovering what Vic said to Joel. She accuses him of driving away another one of her friends and reminds him that Martin was once her close friend. Trying to calm this situation, Vic insists he never meant for anyone to believe the story. Melinda refuses to forgive him. Instead, she says she'll invite Joel over for dinner that evening, and Vic will apologize to him in person. That evening, Joel reluctantly arrives at Vic and Melinda's house for dinner. The atmosphere is painfully awkward. They exchange sarcastic comments across the table while pretending everything is normal. After dinner, Melinda tells Trixie that her father will read her bedtime stories. It sounds innocent, but Vic immediately realizes what she's really doing. She simply wants him out of the way so she can spend time alone with Joel. Without making a scene, Vic takes his daughter upstairs, reads her a story, and waits until she falls asleep. When he finally comes back downstairs, he catches a glimpse of Melinda and Joel together through a mirror. Jealousy begins boiling inside him. Unable to control his frustration, he walks into the kitchen and deliberately smashes a plate. The noise brings Melinda into the room. Instead of asking if he's okay, she casually tells him to pour Joel another drink before walking away. Vic calmly prepares the drink and carries it over. Joel, still shaken by the murder story from the party, nervously asks if Vic is finally going to apologize. Vic quietly says that Martin's murder was never a joke. He really killed him with a hammer. Joel turns pale. Then Vic calmly says an Uber is waiting outside. The next day, the family attends another gathering at the home of Kelly and her husband, Lionel, a successful writer. During the party, Lionel jokingly asks if Vic is really the man who killed Martin McRae. Once again, Vic insists it was only a joke. While everyone else laughs it off, Lionel doesn't seem completely convinced. As the party continues, Kelly compliments Melinda's beauty. In response, Vic unexpectedly asks her to dance. Watching them together makes Melinda visibly jealous for the first time. On the drive home, she teases Vic by asking whether he finds Kelly attractive. Vic honestly admits that he does. Instead of getting angry, Melinda seems strangely amused by his answer. That night, despite all the tension between them, the couple grows close again and briefly reconnects. A few days later, while watching Trixie play soccer, Vic receives a call from his bank. The employee informs him that Melinda recently transferred $3,000 into someone else's account. The recipient's name is Charles. Vic immediately understands what it means. Joel is gone and Melinda has already found someone new. Determined to find out who Charles is, Vic begins looking into him. From that point on, she starts spending less and less time at home. She comes back late almost every night, making no effort to hide the affair. Vic silently watches his marriage continue falling apart. One evening, while waiting for Melinda, Vic sees a news report that Martin McRae's body has been found in the woods. When Melinda finally returns home, he tells her the news. Instead of looking surprised, she coldly asks, "Are you really sorry?" before walking away, leaving Vic deep in thought. The following day, Vic takes Trixie to choose a puppy. On the way home, he spots Charles walking down the street carrying a bouquet of flowers. Later, those exact flowers are sitting on the dining room table. The moment Melinda leaves the room, he throws the flowers straight into the garbage. Then he retreats to his basement. As he watches his pet snails slowly crawl through their glass tanks, disturbing images fill his mind. He imagines Melinda and Charles together. The jealousy becomes almost unbearable. That night, Melinda doesn't come home at all. Vic spends the entire night awake, waiting. When she finally walks through the door the next morning, he completely loses his patience. He demands to know where she's been. He also confronts her about the money she secretly transferred to Charles. Instead of denying anything, Melinda calmly tells him exactly where she spent the night. She knows every detail hurts him, and she enjoys watching him suffer. She understands one thing better than anyone. No matter how badly she treats Vic, he will never leave her. Later that same day, another party is held at a friend's house. At first, everything seems peaceful. Then Melinda unexpectedly invites Charles to the party. Charles soon sits at the piano and begins playing, while the guests happily dance around him. Vic, however, watches silently as his wife laughs, smiles, and openly flirts with another man right in front of him. Even when Melinda introduces Charles to him personally, Vic forces himself to remain polite. As the night goes on, he begins searching the house for Melinda. Eventually, he catches her quietly leaving a room after spending time with Charles. Later, he watches them playing together in the swimming pool. Their touching and laughter make it obvious they are far more than friends. Vic's anger continues building, but once again, he says nothing. Without warning, a heavy rainstorm sends everyone rushing inside. Vic is the last person to leave the pool area. A short time later, Melinda realizes Charles is missing and goes looking for him. Moments later, a horrifying scream echoes through the house. Everyone rushes outside to find Charles floating lifelessly in the swimming pool. Despite desperate attempts to save him, it's already too late. He's dead. Melinda collapses in tears. When Vic tries to comfort her, she violently pushes him away and in front of everyone accuses him of killing Charles. The accusation shocks the guests. However, several of their friends quickly defend Vic. They explain that when the rain started, Vic came inside with everyone else and even burned his fingers while helping prepare food in the kitchen. According to them, there was simply no opportunity for him to commit the murder. The police soon arrive and begin questioning everyone. Vic calmly explains that he was inside the house cooking and even shows them the burns on his fingers, matching the witnesses' accounts. With no evidence linking him to Charles's death, the police have no choice but to let him go. On the drive home, Melinda continues blaming Vic, crying and hitting him while he remains completely silent. The next morning, Vic asks, "If you really believe I killed Charles, why aren't you afraid of me?" Melinda looks at him and quietly replies, "Because I know I'm the reason you did it." Vic remains silent. A few days later, he rides his bicycle to an abandoned warehouse, where the truth is finally revealed. Through a flashback, we see what really happened that rainy night. After everyone rushed inside, Vic stayed behind. Consumed by jealousy, he confronted Charles by the pool and drowned him before calmly rejoining the party as if nothing had happened. It also becomes clear that this wasn't his first crime. For years, Vic has secretly eliminated the men who became involved with Melinda, carefully hiding every trace of his actions. As he rides home, Vic notices a suspicious car following him. He suddenly stops his bicycle. The driver continues past him. Vic immediately realizes someone is keeping an eye on him. The following day, after dropping Trixie off at school, Kelly secretly approaches Vic. She reveals that Melinda and Lionel have been telling people they believe he murdered Charles. Hearing this, Vic invites the couple over for dinner that evening. After dinner, Vic takes Lionel to the basement to show him his unusual snail collection. There, he warns Lionel to stop letting Melinda manipulate him. But Lionel isn't convinced Charles's death was an accident, making Vic realize he's becoming a serious threat. Not long afterward, Vic notices the same mysterious car parked near a restaurant. Looking through the windshield, he spots a professional camera and realizes someone has hired a private investigator to follow him. When he walks into the restaurant, he finds Melinda having lunch with yet another man. She introduces him as David, a psychotherapist preparing to open a clinic nearby. Not believing her, Vic politely asks for one of David's business cards. David awkwardly admits he doesn't have one. Vic smiles and says, "And that's all right, I'll find you," leaving David visibly uneasy. Soon after, Vic storms into Lionel's house and places a bank statement on the table. It shows that Melinda secretly transferred money into Lionel's account, convincing Vic that Lionel hired the private investigator. Lionel denies it, but the evidence stuns Kelly. Vic then walks out, leaving the couple in the middle of a heated argument. Meanwhile, Melinda has already moved on again. Vic soon discovers she's now spending time with another man named Anthony, an old college friend who has quickly become her newest lover. Later that night, he overhears Melinda speaking affectionately with Anthony on the phone. The jealousy returns immediately. The next day, Anthony comes over to the house. The three of them sit down for dinner, pretending everything is perfectly normal. But throughout the meal, Vic can't hide his unease as he watches the two of them together. Eventually, Anthony quietly slips upstairs into Melinda's bedroom. Vic secretly follows and watches from a distance. This time, Melinda catches him spying on them. The uncomfortable moment passes without a word. The following day, he follows Anthony by car. When Anthony leaves a store, Vic casually pulls over beside him. He tells Anthony that Melinda wants to meet him somewhere special and offers to drive him there. Trusting him completely, Anthony gets into the car. Instead of taking him to Melinda, Vic drives deep into a quiet forest. Eventually, they arrive near a secluded gorge. Anthony looks around in confusion and asks, "Where's Melinda?" Vic suddenly grabs a rock and smashes it into Anthony's head. Before he can escape, Vic strikes him again with a larger rock. Anthony collapses into a ditch, dying almost instantly. Vic climbs down, confirms that he's dead, then ties heavy stones to the body before dragging it into the river to make sure it sinks beneath the water. As he's about to leave, he notices Anthony's wallet and slips it into his pocket. After getting rid of Anthony's body, Vic returns home, believing everything is under control. Inside the house, he finds Melinda and Trixie getting ready for a family picnic. Smiling, Melinda asks if he'd like to come along. Vic happily agrees. Trixie excitedly reveals they're going to the gorge, instantly wiping the smile off Vic's face. That's the exact place where he dumped Anthony's body only a short time ago. Trying not to panic, Vic hides his fear and drives them there anyway. Surprisingly, Melinda seems happier than she has been in years. She asks Vic why he still stayed with her after all the pain she caused. Vic simply says he wants to spend the rest of his life with her. He then gives her a photo album filled with pictures he secretly took over the years, showing that he never stopped loving her. For a brief moment, they reconnect. But their peaceful moment is interrupted when Trixie calls for her father. Their puppy refuses to leave the riverbank. Vic walks over to see what is wrong, only to freeze when he sees Anthony's body floating near the surface. Realizing the truth could be exposed at any moment, he quickly makes an excuse and tells them they need to leave immediately. As they're driving home, Melinda suddenly remembers that she left her scarf behind. Vic immediately volunteers to return for it the next morning. That evening, Vic casually asks Melinda if Anthony has contacted her. She says she hasn't heard from him in 2 days. Then she jokingly says, maybe he disappeared, just like the others. Instead of worrying, Melinda walks over, hugs him, and asks him to spend the night in her room. For the first time in a long while, the two share a moment of closeness and reconnect. Early the next morning, Vic rides his bicycle back to the gorge. Using a stick, he pushes Anthony's body farther into the deep water, hoping no one will ever find it. Meanwhile, back at the house, Melinda starts cleaning Vic's basement. While organizing his snail room, she finds something hidden among his belongings. It's Anthony's wallet. The truth hits her. Vic was the one who killed Anthony. And suddenly, all the mysterious disappearances of her past lovers begin to make sense. At that very moment, Vic is still at the gorge trying to hide the body when someone unexpectedly calls his name. Standing behind him is Lionel. Lionel asks what he's doing there. Vic quickly lies, claiming he's searching for Melinda's missing scarf. Lionel quietly holds up the scarf. I already found it. Then he notices Vic standing in the river with a long stick. Before Vic can explain, Anthony's body suddenly rises back to the surface. Without saying another word, Lionel runs to his car. Vic immediately realizes he is going to the police. He jumps on his bicycle and races through the forest, using shortcuts to stop him. Meanwhile, Lionel desperately tries calling the police while driving, but drops his phone in panic. As he reaches down to grab it, he loses control on a sharp turn. At that moment, Vic appears on the road ahead. Lionel swerves to avoid him, sending the car down the hillside into the river. The crash kills him instantly. Back at home, Melinda decides to leave Vic after finding Anthony's wallet. She has packed her things and plans to take Trixie and leave him forever. But Trixie refuses. The little girl throws the suitcases into the pool and stands firmly beside her father, telling her mother that they are staying because her father loves them. Those simple words change everything. For the first time, Melinda realizes how deeply Vic has loved her all these years. She understands that her endless affairs pushed him further into darkness. Without a word, she burns Anthony's wallet. As the evidence burns to ashes, she silently chooses to protect her husband instead of exposing him. Later, Vic rides his bicycle home through the quiet forest. Melinda sits outside, watching him with a thoughtful expression. When Vic asks what's wrong, she simply smiles and says, "I found Anthony." Without another word, Melinda walks back inside the house, and the movie ends.